That would be a little automatic, what we call pedal and pop in the UK. It was a little moped with pedals that you had to pedal to get it started, automatic. And first time I rode it, I came off, hit a garage. First gear bike I ever rode was a Yamaha RD50M. There's a photograph of it just here. Didn't have any CBT in them days, so how I'm still alive now, I'll never know. But I am. I've also got an RD50M in the shop. I bought it a few years ago, and it's an exact replica of the one I rode, and it's in mint condition. I'll be doing a review on that later on in the year. I think overall it was my Yamaha FJ1200. I had that in the early 90s, and it was a lovely machine. Great all-rounder. I think the second best has to be the Tuono I've got at the moment. The Tuono would be the first best if it was more usable in slow town traffic and the fuel injection mapping was just that little bit better. I borrowed a shop's Honda CBR 1000 in about 1987 whilst I had mine CBR 600 serviced. And I was going down quite a wide road, and there was a side road on the right, and this car in front of me just moved into the left and started slowing down. So I went to pass him, admittedly at the junction, obviously didn't anticipate, and he suddenly swung straight across in front of me, and I hit him. I hit the floor so hard it knocked me unconscious, and I had a full face helmet on, and I actually hit and slid on my face for probably about 30-40 feet, and it actually wore a hole in my visor and half of my chin piece away. If I'd have had an open face helmet on, it would have just taken my face off completely. So this is why when I'm doing lessons I try to put people off open face helmets, even though it's their personal choice. I passed my test, both car and bike actually, at 17. It's just something I always wanted to do. So I went and took an intensive one-day course at the time with a place in Colville that isn't going anymore, and went on and passed my test. And that's when it was the olden days where an examiner stood there with a clipboard and just watched me go around the block a couple of times either side, asked me a couple of highway code questions, checked to see if I could ride a bike slowly, and then passed me. There was a guy at school I used to really look up to. I will name him. His name's Steve Perkins. Top bloke. I haven't seen him in years, but he's about 2 years older than me, and he passed his test and got a Honda 250 Super Dream with all the full fairing on it and the stickers and the regalia, and he looked so good on that bike. And he told me he was an instructor. He'd also mentioned to me that when I was 19 that they were doing instructor courses. So I went along to this course where they taught us the very basics, just teaching people how to ride a bike for the very first time, standing in front of the bike, covering the clutch and the front brake, and it all went from there really. After Star Rider, which was the first school I learnt with, I went over to another school at the time called Ace Rider and got a little bit more experience there. And I just thought to myself, well, I can do this. So in March 1989, I started my own school. So this year it'll be 23 years ago. I don't know where the time's gone. I passed my original Star Rider Advanced in October-November 1984. I then went on in 93 to just get the IAM certificate, because a few people had asked me about the IAM, and obviously I got no knowledge of them. So I went and did that for the certificate in 94. Quite funny though actually, because the examiner was a serving police officer who knew of me. And he was very nonplussed. We went out for the ride. I'd overtaken a car on a left-hand bend, and I had this fully marked police bike following me, and at the end of it I just said to him, "How did you do?" And he just shrugged his shoulders and went, "Yeah, do you want a coffee?" That was a little bit of an anticlimax there, but I got it for the certificate basically. Well, we used to recommend that pupils go to various shops around the county, but I kept getting people coming back saying they weren't very happy with the service that they got or the attitude from the dealers. It was almost like the dealers were looking down on them and making out that they were doing them a favour. So a couple of people were actually saying, "Look Russ, if you buy motorbikes and you sell them, we will buy them from you." Because luckily I'd earned the trust throughout the training. So now we get the pupils coming along completely fresh, we train them up, we earn the trust, and then they buy a bike off us and come back for servicing and repairs. Look at that view, how beautiful. Well, now I've been instructing for 27 years. To be honest, there is no other job I'd rather do. I love doing this job. I love doing these videos which will help you, and I love getting a bit of feedback from people as well. So it's nice to know that I'm helping people, and when I get the letters saying that if it wasn't for me they'd have had a crash and things like that, of course it's a little bit of an ego feed. You know, it's going to be. I'm getting some nice feedback, which is great to hear. The future, I'm looking at doing a little bit more advanced training and plugging. I've set up an advanced site just here, and I'm looking at doing more one-day like advanced workshop type courses. Feel free to comment, as Fresh Till Death Online says, in the boombox below, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you.